My name is Jonathan Parks, and welcome to Jonathan's Nature Crafts. On a previous video, we showed all the steps as to how we put in these little burning details to the black German Shepherd when we carved it. This is another German Shepherd that's made out of mulberry and kind of has all the right detail put into it, and to kind of make it so it's not a solid black one, kind of like most German Shepherds that have both yellow and black in their skin. But this is kind of a place where we left off the last time, and we're going to kind of put in a little burning for the ears here with this little writing tip pin. And this is a way that we do it with these little lines and triangles, and kind of make it so it's going to be just a fine little artistic piece of work. And to come down to it, I say that there's one place where we use the shading burning pin, and that is where we shade in all the black parts that are inside these lines. And for what we do here, this is kind of where we start. Some of this detail will show out extra when it kind of gets a little bit better finished, but with all the little due respects to the piece, we kind of might have to go a little slowly here to make sure that the burn of the black part and the detail turns out right, and come along and kind of remove and see how this goes. If you may even see that there's probably a step or two I might have taken too fast here, which is going to make it so that the burn is not going to come out as good. So we kind of want to work our way in just to kind of see how we're going to get this straight, and putting in just what we think we need just to kind of get a little burn spot in or two, and see how with just this little step we're going to have a little burn come in and come along here, stay within the lines, and kind of we'll see how this little step goes along the rest of the piece, because I tried to do this a little too fast the first time and it didn't turn out as good, so I had to kind of go back over it again, kind of do a little detail just to kind of make sure we got all the black part in and the way it needed to be. So I say we're working along this and kind of got little places where we need to go a little further up. Say into this, I tell y'all that this is just kind of a nice little work we have to do just to see what it's going to make of us. And I say just kind of do a little basic need, and to put in a little bit of extra black to make the burn, call it a black burn in a way. So this is just kind of one of the things where we see how this is just a little pattern that makes its own way. Some people call this painting with fire. So this might even be a little more work. You can always probably paint the lines if you wanted to, but sometimes I'd say that would probably be less work. You couldn't charge as much for that probably, because sometimes, just sometimes, the amount you can charge for a piece of work is for the amount of work that you put into it. And this is where we make some nice little prints to show a little extra burn into the piece. I say little insignias are going to be a little necessity to come right in. Got little parts that come on a little black here and there, and I say that this is just kind of nice to have with all we've got in our hands, and with just one little spot we're going to get the little blackening to go right into the daggum piece and see what it's going to make for all the work that we do. I say that this is just a place where we're coming along the mask. We don't know how long a video it would take to do the other parts of this, so we're going to have to see how long this one is going to take as we go about our work on doing this. And I say that sometimes, just sometimes, you can make a little fast motion reel of your work and how it turns out and how you do it with things, and see what this is just meant to bring when it comes down to just the very style of the magic little work. I say that this is just kind of some gentle type of work in life, and with all we got, I say, just kind of do like we do with a little magic wand. Just kind of take it slow and easy and as best as we can do it, and not even sure whether if in video time I'd be able to do the whole back of this thing or not. But here, by showing you all this, I'm giving you a demonstration of how the rest of the burning gets done. So I say that this is just what I come to show with a little work in hands and work in life and all good little things that must come and go and make a little habit place for one kind of work that goes straight into another. And I've always heard, you know, with these little burning pin tips, you don't want to press too hard on them. If you press too hard, you might ruin them. That's kind of the way it's been with a few that I've had. They've kind of done me that way a little time or two. So I say, I'll tell you all a little bit more about other burners I've had when they used to make the Detail Master before they made the razor tip pin, and how that just the work that was involved kind of might have been something where you might have had to turn it high up all the way just to kind of get it hot enough to really burn into a much harder wood. Sometimes, depending on the density of the wood, you might have to make it a little bit hotter for it to work right. From all that I've been told and heard, and for all the friends who told me about this, I'd say some of them, just some of them have passed on. And for one thing, I say this is just a kind of work that is essential to a piece. Sometimes there can be a little boring thing or two that comes into a piece of work just to make it what it is. But this is where we come down just soaring in to take care of little bitty matters the best we can as they can be, and to kind of know what it's going to show when we all get done. I say that we kind of got a little ways to go under the chin here with how the little ways go, and say that it's hard to see in the camera exactly from this angle, but we make it sure enough to heck of a lot to happen. And so, I say that this is just generalized little bits of work that go right into a really good daggum piece of wood carving. And I mean, I've had friends in places that I've met who can kind of burn things more detailed, burn pictures and all, and with all things I say, little extra work can pay the price if we all just pay attention to what we're doing and how we're doing it, and keep it all in a very safe, kind place. And so with this work, we have a little place to do, a little thing or two. We're coming down to what it's really gotta have to become, and see what we're gonna have with a little sculpting and burning, and all these little blank spots that didn't get filled, come back and fill them in with the daggum burner, and kind of take it so it's going to be a slow living process to make one thing come out as another. And I say, that's about all for today. We're coming down to the last bit here, and taking a little time just to move in forward, move in a little bit, and just know that this may take a while. Even the back that is inside of this little line here, it's going to be done quite the same way when we get around to it. I made a little momentary change of mind and decided that after I kind of spent a lot of time doing all of this burning right here, I decided I'd come back and finish it and let you all watch how I do. So we might add a little bit extra time onto this video, just kind of showing this, but I'll tell you all that I hope to go slowly over this, and I see some places where, you know, the bare color of the wood still might show a little bit, so even in the places where it's already been burnt. So this kind of task, I mean, to do this much of it, it could probably take a few days maybe, so I might kind of do a little demo just to kind of give you all a little show of how this crap is going to go. Sorry for using that word. I tell you, I'm just having quite the day here. So this is just one of those things where we just kind of get a little kind of time and effort into the piece, and I say just kind of take a little slow time working our way about these things and how we do them, because I'll tell you, on the day I'm recording this, I was in my guild meeting earlier today, the Woodcarvers Guild meeting over at McConnell Springs, and with all this kind of ways that I go about a little project like this, I say that there's just moments where you need to take breaks in this, and I carved this thing out this morning as I did all this type of joyous work into it, and kind of put it on a little ways to kind of make things so they're going to be precious and have a little sentiment and their value to us. And for all, I say that this is just kind of some extra special type of work that will show in a very long while. So it's just kind of a way that we're moving along things, and even for the time that I record, I got on and saw I had some more subscribers. It's always good to try to gain a little more subscribers as you go, and that's going to help the channel grow a little bit, maybe even increase some likes. And I will tell you all that maybe it just could be that I don't really need a monetization, because everything is going to go well for very good reasons here. And with this little thing in mind, I say we're kind of doing just what we have very, very, very slowly. It can be a little bit hard to try to talk while you're going about it, so we'll kind of let that sink in just a little bit and kind of show how with just one little bit of talent and effort, things can go about pretty smooth and make us see a good little way to kind of get in how this is going to be. Sometimes, just sometimes, if I try to talk while I'm doing it or think too much about other stuff, I probably get to going a little too fast, so forgive me for that. It's going to be just the way we see a nice little burning of a sculpting of wood, and how that it's just kind of making little sense to you and me, how we kind of go about seeing how we're going to burn it black around these areas. So I'd say this might be a little time added to the video. It might make the video a little longer, but we're going to show how we do this type of work. And there's going to come a time when in pictures you're going to see how this all turns out in the end. But maybe, just maybe, try to kind of have a little work done right into a good little piece. And sometimes, just sometimes, even in this part of the German Shepherd's fur that is black, there might be other things that take place in the little business of the dog, and how they just kind of circle around, make things so they're just kind of worthless and good as things can possibly come to be, and to see how a little sculpting and burning and painting with fire is going to go for quite the longest way. So with this in mind, we'll have so much more to share as we move along, as we go along, but I say this is probably about as far as I'm going to show on video to show you all what I can do. And I hope you're going to have a blessed day, and hope to see you all around. Hope to see you in future videos, and thank you all very much, and take care, and I wish you all well. Goodbye. Want to show you all a little more how this goes along, because I'm demonstrating now how over a little dark area, you know, you can kind of take it a little bit further and kind of work a little longer ways about it to try to make it so it's going to be just kind of right in the way that it's going to go, and put in little places that make it a little freaking darker than it already is, and just to see how it's going to be. Just demos come and demos go, but we're almost down to the last, and with this little set we're going to show how it's all going to nearly come to a really good finish here, and see how we're kind of burning in over the light. Try to make it a little more dark as we can make it, to see what this is going to turn out like. And for just a little work in a piece, kind of see the black come in and show how it's very distinct in its work and its ways, and just to kind of keep the minutes going. We'll have more to show here as you see how much further along a little bit of carving goes, and all the things that you want to see. So with that in mind, we're getting it darker and darker, and coming to the end pretty soon. And this is what I want you all to finally see, what it turns out like when all the burning is finished. So I say just a little effort here. We're going to have it all together and see just what it's going to be in the very, very end. Thank you all so much, and this is the very end. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe to this channel. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.